Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Alpha Life here. As you can see, we are continuing our 0 to Billion series in the combat part of the series, in the combat section. We will take a rather good quick look at the wallet because for this episode we haven't really been able to do that much stuff. I mainly actually focused on just doing the career agents, which let me show you really quickly. Career agents only doing the enforcer and the soldier of fortune career agents because they are the combat ones, the combat focused ones. Now, I would recommend you, especially if you're just starting out as a new character, to actually do the career agents properly, do all of them, and do not move on from that system, from that first system you pop into at first, before you actually finish your career agent missions. Do all of them, they are around 10 missions per agent. They are really, really good. The ISK is really, really good. And we are actually going to be taking a good look into the rewards that we have been getting for these career agents in a little bit. But before we do that, I actually want to finish up with this hideaway, and I want us to take a look into something else that some of you might have already seen and some of you may be taking a good look at. Yes, we have two narcotics warehouses. Why is this? Well, I was running the missions, and while running the missions, if I had any refuges or hideaways, I would actually go out of my way to do those before actually doing the missions and before focusing on those. So, what we are actually going to do is, yes, we have the same fit as we did on the last episode. I haven't been able to put up the second battery, and if we simulate it, we are still unable to because of our power grid. Let's also take a rather quick look into how our skill training is going. Very, very good. We should have CPU management for tomorrow and power grid management in 9 days. So for the next episode, the next episode, hopefully with that we're gonna be able to use the second battery. Hopefully we are going to be able to use the second battery. So let's see if we can actually get there. Now, there are other things that we can actually train to try and get a little bit better, with the energy grid upgrades, weapon upgrades, and advanced weapon upgrades. We should actually lessen our consumption of CPU and power grid consumption. Now, for the gun skills, we are exactly the same. We just set up a lot of stuff to train up. We should actually focus on the electronics systems. Navigation might actually be really, really good. Yes, navigation. Microwarpdrives and afterburners, 5% speed boost per skill level. So yeah, we should absolutely get this one. I think I'm gonna set it up to train a little bit later because we do want that CPU upgrade very, very desperately. Neural enhancements. Ooh. Now we have gotten our first cybernetic enhancement. I haven't plugged it in yet, but we are going to take a good look into it once we are actually back at the station after running both of our Serpentis narcotics warehouses. So that is going to be really, really important. So let's actually, without further ado, go to our warp site and get into the Serpentis narcotics warehouse. If you have the opportunity tab closed, you can also check if you have anything in encounters, not in encounters, in exploration, in escalations, and you will see you have any and all of them, whether how far away they are and stuff like that. I have one in 9 jumps and one right here. So let's actually go ahead and show you guys how are we actually going to be running the narcotics warehouse with the fit that we currently have, because it's going to be a little bit different from the other fit that I have in my video, because this is trying to get there, but it is currently, well, incomplete. So we are going to be a lot more vulnerable. We're not going to be able to just go to everything as fast as possible. And we're actually going to be a little bit more careful. And we're going to have to take better care of our drones. And also, I don't want to waste a lot of ammunition because our guns only reach 10 kilometers with antimatter. Let's actually try to see with iron, which should be one of the farthest ones, yeah, we get to 22 kilometers. So not that far. That's not great, not well, not amazing, but we can still do a little bit of something. We are going to run really quickly the narcotics warehouse. Again, I'm going to mainly focus on taking everything down with the drones as much as possible while staying out of the damage because that is going to be a problem, and try to engage everything as it closes down on you. For example, here we have already killed a few ships. I'm actually going to go over and loot them because we are starting off with this new character and we haven't done a lot of combat. We actually do want to loot as much as possible and spend quite a good amount of time actually looting because it can really help you build up that wallet when you're starting out. You know, for more experienced players, if you're doing sites much more quickly or much more often, you don't want to be spending a lot of time looting. However, if you're just starting out, it's very much recommended. As you can see, we got there one afterburner, and thanks to the career agent missions, we have also gotten some other ships, which we are also going to take a look at once we are back to our home station where we did the career agent missions. But yes, we did get some extra ships, and yes, we did get one catalyst, and we're gonna be working towards a feat that we can use to run abyssals, or that we can actually use to run belt ratting. Sorry. Yeah, the low-sec belt rating is also going to be another priority for me since we have already claimed to do it, and already someone in the comments told me that yeah, they would like to see it. So we need to start working towards that, and for that we're going to start training into our catalyst bits. So we are going to actually check those a little bit later. Let me just very quickly, as you can see, I am being really careful, looting everything out, staying out of range, guarding my drones. As you can see, one of them is getting a little bit up. So let's bring him back. And yes, because we don't have medium drones in this feed just yet, we are actually going to start sending the drones to the supply traffic management stuff, and we are going to wait for it to actually be destroyed by the drones while we are looting. I'm going to just speed this part up for you guys. You don't really need to see in real time. I'm gonna speed this part up and I will get back to you guys in a second. So now that that thing has been destroyed, what we're going to want to do is get this acceleration gate, the check-in tunnel. That is going to be the one we want to choose because I believe that we get more NPCs, so we're gonna get better loot, but we also need to be more careful and take it easy, you know, running this and killing the rats and staying out of the way and protecting our drones. We want to be very careful in this room, but we will get a little bit more loot and a little bit more rewards if we do this one instead of the other one. So now I'm going to approach really slowly because from the start we have a few rats. So I'm just gonna launch drones and start engaging everything while we approach really slowly. And again, I'm gonna speed this part up for you guys. So for this room, as you saw, I like sending my drones for the big cruiser guy, and I just screwed up because I sent them to something else while they were already killing it. So we're just gonna reset them on that cruiser guy. And other than that, just be careful with them. Return anyone that's being targeted, especially to the drone bay, and that's about it. It's a really simple room, but if you go in guns blazing, you're actually going to be having some problems. Now, the best strategy is to go in and out of the room as much as possible. Not meaning you have to warp out, you absolutely don't have to. You know, it should be a fairly easy room to clear, but if you need to, you can just move alongside this straight line and everyone will just keep on burning towards you really, really slowly, so you shouldn't really have any bit of trouble. Now, these guns, as you can see, are actually targeting my drones, which can be a bit of an annoyance. So let's lock them up and try to shoot them down. So for this room, what you need and why we focused on the cruiser guy is that because we need this one, the refinery, the Serpentis refinery headmaster. That's actually the loot that we need to keep on moving forward. That's the one that we actually want to get, the loot that we actually want to get. So once we do get it, it should be no problem moving on through the gate, but I believe you still have to destroy everything in the room, which should not be a problem for us. As you can see, we are doing rather alright, and it is actually really, really good for us to actually stay here and destroy everything just because we want to get that little bit extra loot, that little bit extra whatever we can get. That's going to be really, really important for us in the coming episodes, just trying to amass stuff so that we can actually do something with our feats, with our other ships, and try to get some value out of them. Since we have gotten them for free from the career agents, we actually want to make the most out of them as fast as possible. And yeah, this side of the series should have a very, very slow start. However, I believe that it can actually go a lot faster once that we are running, for example, tier 1 abyssals in a frigate. We should be able to make some pretty good ISK, but we, of course, need to start with the tier 0s, probably in the Catalyst, and try to work with the Tristan to be able to run those tier 0s also, but make a little bit extra ISK out of them. And eventually we could try to get into a worm, but I am not sure this character has enough trainable skill points left to actually get into a worm and properly fly it. I mean, maybe to get into one, yes. Absolutely not enough to properly fly it, you know, with high shield skills and stuff like that. So it should be really a big consideration for us whether if we go that route or not. And in any case, we can also do our low sec rating, which is the reason why we are training up our gunnery skills, because we are mainly going to be doing that with blaster ships. That's going to be our main damage. While in low sec belt rating and while in high sec combat exploring, we are of course going to mainly focus on drones. We can also focus on drones for the rating. However, I have seen that it is a lot more expensive and it takes a little bit more time. And I just use blasters for my low sec belt rating. I think they are far more efficient. And now for this last room, we are actually going to go in, poke at them a little bit, and get out. And that's how it's going to be for a really long time because there are a lot of guys here. However, we do need to be really careful in this room. because we can get overwhelmed pretty easily. As you can see, already damage is coming in. So yeah, we do need to be careful here. Again, I'm gonna speed it up just so that you guys can see somewhat the strategy that we're going to be using to try and mitigate as much damage as possible. So, as you guys just saw, and as you can tell by the amount of bricks that we have available, and you can see that I was just using the exact same strategy. You hold down Q and click twice in a point in space where you want to go to, so that you can get a little bit closer to the rats, so that you can actually send the drones in. And then once you start getting in some damage and they start closing in on you, you double click again, hold down Q, double click again and get back out, because you don't want to be taken down by a narcotics warehouse. They are not that difficult, so they shouldn't really be a problem for you. Yes, they do take a little bit of time. As you can see, we are already taking down the structure here, and I am just looting around while the drones mainly take care of that, and I am also getting rid of some of these charges that I mainly don't use. So yeah, you can use this as an opportunity to empty your charges without having them go to waste or having to sell them for a loss. You can actually use them in the narcotics warehouse supply, in the Serpente supply stronghold, to put up a little bit of damage and actually get some worth out of them. Of course, they are not going to be as good damage as antimatter, obviously, but well, they are not necessarily that bad, and anything does help since we do not have medium drones, which are the ones that we really do use. So yeah, let me just speed this part up again for you guys. And again, remember, just go in, go out, go in, go out, and you shouldn't really have any problems at all. And there we go, you guys. That is pretty much it for the narcotics warehouse. As you saw, no problem at all. Well, shouldn't be any problem. We did get a little bit of nice loot. Finally, in the series, we get some good stuff out of a combat site. Well, not that one, don't look at that one. But the Shadow of Serpentis Plasma Smart Bomb can be sold. We can go to the markets later and see what it's worth. And the Shadow Serpentis Light Electron Blaster, we should get at least 1.5 million to 2 million out of each narcotics warehouse. So let's actually go and get the next one. So actually for the next one, since it's a little bit further away, I'm not actually going to bring you guys along for the entire ride. Just let me go really quickly, go finish it up, and I will get back to you guys through the magic of editing in a second. So through the magic of editing, we are back now. We are back at the station. I'm sorry. Yes, this is the next day. I have finished both narcotics warehouses, and here are the spoils of our labor. Not that much, to be honest, but well, these two have been rather good, around 4 million ISK. And now, what we are actually going to be doing to be able to get the best sell price for those, well, let me just check prices really quickly. But first of all, let's actually take a good look into what have we been getting from the career agent missions, as I promised you. Well, as you can see, we got a good amount of stuff, some drones, our first ocular filter, some small armor repair, some guns and stuff like that. So definitely not much, but definitely not something to be denied. Of course, we get some good ships. We got an Atron, an Incursus, and a Catalyst Destroyer, which we can use to either go into low sec to try and see if we can find a nice little space, nice little low sec pocket of space that we can do low sec belt ratting on, which would be really, really nice. And we can also take a look into other activities. For example, with the Catalyst, we could start moving on to running our tier 0 abyssals without any problems. Let's actually check our feed because we can't exactly do it right now. We have a little power grid problem at the moment, but we are already training our power grid, and since we get 5% power grid for each level for in 9 days, so for the not next episode but the next one after that, we are going to be able to start applying our tier 0 Firestorm Abyssals with our Catalyst. Also, we are going to be trying to train into our T0 Firestorm Tristan, meaning that it's going to allow us to actually do some good, interesting stuff. We can actually run Narcotics Warehouse with this exact same fit, and we can run some combat exploration, some narcotics warehouses and abyssals at the same time, and we can also run some level 1 missions, which we are going to be moving on for the next episode. Now, for this one, we have run around for around 8 hours doing the career agent missions, just starting to get our footing on stuff, and of course the Algos, my favorite calendar ship, probably the one that has made me the most amount of ISK ever. And yes, we are starting on that, but let's actually try to see if we can already fit our second battery, because that would be really, really great, getting us a lot closer. No, still the same problem, power grid. Yes, we also are gonna need to train up our Hobgoblin skills and stuff like that, but other than that, we should be on the right track to keep on doing stuff, and the stuff we like doing. So we are going to take a quick look into our wallet, and as you can see, we didn't exactly make a lot of income. Unfortunately, we have made 129 million from trade, but most of those, as you can see, is going to be from selling asteroids. So this one counts for the last episodes, for the last part of the series, and for miscellaneous, Project Discovery rewards and stuff like that. We haven't done Project Discovery for this week, mainly because I wasn't sure if you guys wanted me to fit it into the combat side of things, or if we just wanted to do the combat. I think for the next episode, I'm actually going to go back to the 5 days Project Discovery and try to get that back on the way. Now we have made 5 million in bounties and 5 million in agents and missions meaning that we have run some career agents which have been really good. Let me actually show you the ones that we have been running, because we have only run the Enforcer and the Soldier of Fortune one. Of course, if you run the other ones, you will also get more ISK, more ships, and stuff like that. But for the ones that we have done, yes, we have done all 10 missions for those two, and that's what got us our Catalyst and our Atron and our Incursus. Now, what are we going to be moving on to for the next week? I'm gonna try to do the 8 hours of missions. Level 1 missions, of course, don't pay really well, but we're gonna be able to fill up our stack a little bit more, our stack of stuff, our inventory, trying to get it a little bit bigger before we actually go into selling some stuff, which should be more than worth it. What else are we actually going to be doing? Well, we're going to be pursuing our tier 0 abyssals, and we're going to try to get a little bit of low-sec belt rating along the way. Let me just show you in the ship tree. We can actually, for this one, we actually want to get a very specific fit. Copy the fit from the description down below, Control C, and let's import that fit into this character. Let's see here, import from clipboard, and let's simulate the fit and see if we could run it. Now, here's the problem. We have the same power grid problem as before, and our level 5 power grid management is not going to be necessarily enough to actually be able to run this catalyst. However, what can we do? Because we are running light neutron particle cannons, so we can actually move on to try to use some different guns. And as you can see, the main portion of the CPU and power grid is taken up by the guns. So let's actually go down here, and this is how you can get your fits. I really do recommend you play around with fits, you play around in the fitting screen so that you can see whether or not it's actually worth it. Now, you're going to want to make a quick comparison. Neutron are the ones that do the most damage. Ion make a little less damage and have a little less range, but they also consume less power grid CPU and less capacitor, and Electron do the least. So we definitely don't care about the Electron ones. Let's get the second guns and actually try to see if it's really worth it to get our ship, to get our feet ready like this. And as you can see, we can actually fly this one. But one of the important parts, let's see how much damage we're doing. 196.5 DPS is not that bad, not that great either. Let's actually see if we can upgrade the magnetic field stabilizers. We can upgrade one, that's great. Can we upgrade the other one? Yes, we can, and 207 DPS is actually pretty good. I would feel more than comfortable enough to actually get into low sec with this, but we still need another skill, weapon upgrades 4, and it is already in our training queue. Let's see where it is. Weapon upgrades 4. It's going to take a long time before we can actually get to weapon upgrades 4, but at least we can start working towards making this feat a reality, and we have a free catalyst. Now, I want you guys to put me in the comments below if you would like me to use, what should we use the first free catalyst for, whether it should be for abyssal runs, which I believe we can get into a little bit faster, or should we just go for the low sec belt rating? Of course, we can do a little bit of belt rating in frigates. We can start off that way, but they do a lot less damage and it takes a lot more time, so you are going to be a lot more vulnerable for a lot longer. So that is something that you should really take under consideration. That can be problematic a little bit, but well, it is what it is. So we need to consider whether if we should just go straight into low sec belt rating or straight into abyssal running, because I think abyssal running is a little bit more on our time frame to try to get those skills as fast as possible. Now, let's go get ourselves into If Tycoon. Entering Warp Disruptor Field Generator. Let's see for buy prices. Ooh, and in MR it is actually being bought for 4 million. That's great. Or in Celion. In Jita it's also being bought for 4 million. So the good thing about this, let me just show you really quickly. As you can see here, We just search for it. Of course, I'm gonna leave the link for this in the description below. But as you can see sell prices and try to get the lowest, or you can see buy prices and try to get the highest buy price. And that is going to be really, really good, especially if you are like me and really don't like waiting to sell things and want to sell them to buy orders. This is going to be really, really good. And yeah, I was surprised a little bit when into Dixie the prices were so very low for these ones. So yeah, we're gonna try to move on to either Amar or Celian. Let's actually see how far away it is. Slelion. 13 jumps away. It is a little far away. Let's see how far is Amar. 13 jumps. 37 jumps. So yeah, definitely Slelion is a lot closer. That is where we're gonna want to be taking these ones, but take it right now and try to see how much we can actually get. So let's actually go over there. Yeah, I'm going to take this one. Let's see for the Shadow of Serpentis stuff. What else can we get? So let's see. Small Plasma Smart Bomb. It is being bought in Jita for 1.7 million and not that much, to be honest. I was hoping for a little bit more, but well, it is what it is. Let's see. Yeah, 500,000 in Jita, so definitely not great stuff that we have been getting from our narcotics warehouses, but well, at least we got something, honestly, considering the other episodes and the other loot that we had been getting. I am quite surprised that we got what we got. I am well, rather happy about it. It's not that bad, and we are building up our wallet slowly but surely. So for the next episode, we're gonna do a few more activities that are gonna be less drooling than doing refuges and hideaways trying to get something. And we are going to spend a little bit more focused time actually running our missions and trying to get some LP and stuff like that. So, guys, to stay on the lookout for that and leave me in the comments in the description. Yeah, in the comments below, anything that you may want to see, anything that you want to see, and how do you think my videos have been going if you're excited for this side of the series, and where we can actually take this character moving forward. What should we do? What should we avoid? And what would you like me to try and do? And of course, as long as it's within the budget, I am more than happy to. Remember, I have other characters with other budgets. And yeah, I've been thinking about also doing a Just Abyssal side series. But yeah, that's still in the works. So, guys, do let me know. And of course, I will be uploading finally some videos of other video games. So, do let me know if you actually want to see those or if I have to make another YouTube site to actually upload those. But if you don't mind, I will be more than happy to get some other games to this YouTube page so that we can actually play along some other things, especially considering that sometimes I have trouble with my internet connection and I cannot play Eve. That would be really, really nice. So guys, everyone, thank you also very much for watching. I really appreciate this. Remember, links in the description below to the 1 million skill point referral link so that you don't have to spend as much time waiting for the skill. Thank you also very much for watching. This has been the Alpha Life, and I will see you all in the next one.